Welcome to 101. I'm Greg Bassey, your host from the Salisbury Independent newspaper. It's a big day here at PAC 14. We're continuing our election series with city council candidates. Today we have Doughty. He's running for election in District 2. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So you were just recently appointed to the council, but there's still a lot of people who don't know you. So tell us, who is Doughty?
Absolutely, yes. So I was recently appointed to council, but Doughty, lifelong resident of Salisbury, born and raised here. I'm under 30 years old. I'm going to claim that. Just had a birthday, but under 30. Professionally, I'm a development manager for Green Street Housing. We're an affordable housing real estate developer. I've done a ton of community work here locally. Studied business administration at Salisbury University, and very community focused. My family's here, love Salisbury, and just looking forward to continuing that.
I've known you for a long time, so I'm excited
Yeah.
that you're running, and I just love what you all do at Green Street Housing.
Yeah, it is. It's good work. I'm telling you. I just started there this year, and good, positive work, and we get to see the fruits of our labor. So excited about that.
So you get appointed to the council. First meeting that you're at, they make one of the biggest decisions that they've made in years.
Yeah.
And you were a key in explaining why that decision had to be made. Tell me about the town center stuff.
Absolutely. So again, it's been in the works for quite some time. And again, our role was just, deciding about the bidding process and just, what the director of procurement, what she could do. But again, that Salisbury Town Center and then that development downtown, they're adding a lot of units, much needed units to the market. And then, like I said, that was just one part of it, and we're still continuing to make sure that, again, the decisions that were made years ago, that we are actually acting on those and getting some units here on the market. Because again, we don't have enough beds to house people that we want to have here in Salisbury.
Right, and we hear about the housing shortage all the time. One of the criticisms is that, like downtown, it's not going to be necessarily affordable housing downtown. But how does that matrix play in terms of what's affordable, not affordable, and what we should be focusing on?
Absolutely, yes. If you ask me, again, we don't have enough affordable housing, and again, that word affordable, it means different, means a different thing to certain people. But one thing for sure is that we need just plain housing here in the area. There's not enough to take that pressure off to make the prices go down. So adding units to the mix will, one, relieve that pressure on some of the housing prices we have now, but also making sure we're not just focusing on rentals as well, but make sure we have homes for people to buy as well. Again, that's going to attract people to the area. As you know, 75% of the area are rentals, but we want to make sure that we kind of get a healthy balance there. But actually, we're actually one of the developers going to be adding some units here in Salisbury soon. So hopefully we can attract more affordable developers as well as market rate units to get that healthy mix of that market rate to affordable housing.
I work downtown and I work odd hours, and one thing I've noticed since the Ross has gone in, on the weekends, there's a lot more people, especially in the evening downtown now.
Yeah, it's one good thing. Like I said, I work downtown actually myself, so I take a lot of walks, and it's good to see that traffic kind of speed up there and kind of that foot traffic, of course. And one thing we want to do is, of course, the focus in on downtown, but again, extend that footprint beyond the downtown area. So the hope is that we kind of migrate people to the center of town, and then they kind of associate outwards.
District 2 has a lot of great neighborhoods in it,
Yeah.
so it's very important. And we keep hearing this like contention between downtown and the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Like we've got to focus on downtown or the neighborhoods. I don't know why we can't do both, but where are you on all that?
Exactly. So that's, I've never been married to downtown. Again, I like my neighborhood, but I like Salisbury in general. So I think we need to focus, of course, on every neighborhood in Salisbury. So of course, my district is District 2, and that's what I've been focusing my efforts on. Making sure that the structures that we have in District 2, utilizing them, but also see what we can do utilizing the land and the different playgrounds and the structures. District 2 has a good mix. We have homes, we have, of course, apartments, we have still some land that we can sort of develop, but we also have community centers, and we do have a park in District 2, which not all districts have that public city park. So we have a good mix of things to use in the district, and I'm excited to get to take in all that.
People think they know everything. You get on the council, first couple meetings, they start sharing all not the secret information with you, but you really have to read the agenda and
Yeah.
the briefing books and all that. What has surprised you?
How much reading that we have to do,
Right.
Of course, and understanding, right? And so now I sort of know why the public, and then when I say the public, the general body just does not know what's going on, and it takes part of council to, one, understand that first layer, but then translate that into something that the general body can understand.
Okay, help me with that, because as someone whose job it is to watch what's going on and
Yep.
write it down and tell people, it's been so frustrating to me when like they break ground for Unity Square and people are like, no one ever told us there was, and I'm like, I've written it for 5 years now that we're going to have this
Yes.
thing. But people don't make those connections until they see the ground move, and either I'm not communicating or the city's not communicating. Something is missing in the communication.
I think one thing is understanding terms. So take, for instance, LDA, land disposition agreement.
Right.
So understanding what that means and then the time. Development is a slow process.
Yeah.
As someone who works in it, you may have an idea and then an inception, and then you may have like a groundbreaking, or you may have a contract or a deal with the city. At that time, it may take months, a year, 18 months for
Or
that
never.
to actually...
Yeah.
Hopefully it never, but exactly, right?
Yeah.
And so that time is our enemy with this. So again, it's figuring out a good way for us to make sure that the public knows this is still going on, but it may not be forward, as much as forward as you may think, but it's still going on. I think a good idea of that would be something with North Prong Park. It's been a discussion here. Again, the question was raised, what's going on with North Prong Park? It wasn't quite forgotten. There's been a lot of things going on behind the scenes. So I think we did a good job with that just here recently. So taking these integral projects, highlighting, hey, this is what's going on, bring in the director, bringing in someone from that department to explain it's still moving, maybe slow, but it's still moving forward.
Right, now North Prong Park, and not to talk about what I do so much, but that's an example of, that's a great idea, but because I'm wrong about everything, I'm like, that's never going to happen because there's so much destruction, so much problem in the soils there from the companies that were there. Once the city gets into that, they're not going to be able to afford to do this, and it's a shame because they should. And that slows the process down.
Right.
But then people sort of forget about North Prong Park, and they don't know that it's going to come, but eventually it's going to happen.
Yes. Hopefully we see it in my lifetime.
Right.
Because my family actually was talking about, he moved here 6 years ago, my grandfather did, and it was discussions then about North Prong Park. So I'm really hoping we get to fast track this, and of course, but do it right though. That's the thing.
Right.
There's a difference between doing things right and fast. So we need to make sure we have a healthy balance of that if there are things that need to be remediated, we have to take care of that.
Right. There's been some negative stuff that's been going on. People critical of the so-called vanity projects, which I don't know what are. When I say, okay, which are the vanity projects, I don't really get an answer. But there are like people like, now that Jake Day is gone, we can put Waverly back the way it was, and we don't have to have all these new things anymore.
Sure.
And I want progress. I hate change, but I love progress. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
How do you address people like me who want new things, who want us to experiment, but want to keep things the way they were at the same time?
It's a very, I keep saying the word, but balance, right? So
Right.
anything that involves change is going to have a little bit of discord, and I think we're in that time and we're in that zone of a little bit of discord, right? Things are different than what we're used to, and we have to adapt. Again, we have to see the vision that's 5 to 10 years from now, and really hope and just trust that it is the right thing that's going to move for Salisbury. We have, I'm excited that we have a lot of people that have a lot of fresh ideas, but with that comes some pushback. But we have to let the public know that this is what's right for the city, but also take their input. That if there is a lot of discord, okay, let's hold on, let's take a moment, let's see what's going on, let's get that feedback. Let's also make sure that we're staying the course as well.
Right. There's going to be a big change in culture because so many ideas came from Jake.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about that. But Jake's gone. We don't know who the mayor's going to be. But at the same time, the council's going to have to step up now. People say the council rubber stamps and all this. But I think council members have to step up and come up with their own ideas about how to improve the city. So what might be on your list?
Absolutely. So one thing on my list for at least District 2 is to make sure that we're utilizing, like I said earlier, the structures that we have. So the community center, it's been something that's sort of been forgotten about. And I've been working just in my short tenure on council to make sure that we're using that.
That's Truett Street.
Exactly,
Okay.
right. It's been, every time I pass by there's no cars, there's few children, and that's a good piece of building that we have to be able to really utilize that. Again, Dover Park, it's something that's forgotten about. We had good programs going in through there. We've kind of forgotten about that great piece of land in the park, and it's using outdoor space. And again, shifting children, to utilize these spaces is going to be one key resource that we have. And I kind of want to put my focus in on that, on on our youth. That's really a big deal of my focus. I feel like if we make sure that we instill some positive impact with our youth, it'll really pay off.
Right. Now, people don't know this. The city doesn't have a parks department the way the county does, but the city does have some parks, and Doverdale Park is one of those parks. And one of the things that I loved putting in the paper was when our Judge Massarello and Barbara Duncan were very involved with some kids up there with the lacrosse program. But I'm just learning now that that's not as active as it was, and we need someone to sort of come back and work on that. I don't know if it's a city responsibility or we get nonprofits. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've actually talked to Chief Mindshine about that, and of course Sergeant Hitty, who runs the community policing. So working on some things and what we can do. Of course, things take money, and trying to find the resources and what we can do to get that there. But also, and I've been saying it a lot, we have a lot of community partners here in Salisbury. Using those community partners, now let's not reinvent the wheel, right? Using community partners, figuring out what people are doing, and let's the city back those community partners up. So I think this is going to be a community effort using, of course, Salisbury Police Department, City of Salisbury, and then whatever entity that are doing things now. Let's all combine forces for the betterment of our children.
Is Hostel Esther in District 2?
It is.
Okay, so you're talking about joint community stuff.
Exactly.
Tell us what's going to happen with the Hotel Esther.
Absolutely. So Tidal Health I believe, just did a ribbon cutting just this week.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, and it was amazing. So it's going to be some medical resources, mental health resources right there in District 2 for the residents there to use. And it's going to be something where, because again, we know that some of the burdens that deter people from utilizing those mental and medical resources are transportation, but we're right there in the community. It's going to be instrumental for moving our residents forward. And I'm so proud and so glad that it's in District 2. And again, that building, I mean, the history with that building, again, the person who originally...
A lot of good and bad.
Yes. But I think we're going to right some wrongs with this one and utilizing that space that's been kind of desolate for some years. So I'm excited about that.
And, and there's so much that people have to go to the emergency room because they don't have a doctor. Exactly. And to have a community clinic is really going to make a big difference. I'm really excited about it.
I am too. And as someone who understands a little bit how healthcare works, it's expensive, right? And so, and always not the easiest to take advantage of. So I'm really excited about this resource.
So 4 years from now, when you're back here running for re-election or running for mayor or whatever is next for Deshaun, what's my hometown going to look like?
I'm hoping, I know that Salisbury is going to be a better place, but I know it's going to be a much happier place. I don't want us to be discussing these issues that we're discussing now about development and about our youth and about mental health. I don't want us to have to put as much pressure as we are on those things as we are now. So I'm really hoping it's going to be a better Salisbury for all, and I mean that for all, as well as people in District 2, District 5, 1 through 5, everyone. It's just an easier, better Salisbury for all.
How can people get a hold of you and learn more about Deshaun Doughty?
Absolutely. You can find me on all social media networks with my hashtag, my at dm.doughty, dm.doughty. Also my email address, info@DeshaunDoughty.com.
He's Deshaun Doughty. He's running for City Council District 2. We're excited that he's here today, and thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
I'm Greg Bassett from the Salisbury Independent Newspaper. Another edition of 101 right here on PAC 14.
First Shore Federal is proud to support PAC 14 and one-on-one. We'd encourage every business to support PAC 14 and pick a program and support it, and let's make a difference.